fellow budgeters, my name is Brandy and you're watching From Debt to Dreams. And on this channel we're paying off over $400,000 worth of debt. But don't you fret, way more than half of that is our mortgage. We're doing our first budget with me for January of 2026. Happy New Year to everyone. I hope that you had a great day. We had a lovely time. This Christmas season and New Year season has actually been really, really wonderful for us. And I feel very blessed and I'm so thankful for how things have been. And I can't talk about it too much or else I get really emotional over it because it has just been a really, really good time. And I'm sad that it's over, but also at the same time looking forward to going back to routines and having, just getting back to life, while also missing it. Okay, here's what we've got going on. We are starting to use my own sheets that I've made for myself. I decided I have been using the Budget by Paycheck planner by the Budget Mom for a long time. I think I bought my first one in 2018, I think, and have been using it consistently ever since. However, this year I decided I was going to try my own thing. And if I don't like my thing and end up missing the Budget by Paycheck workbook, then I will buy her printable version. I don't think she's going to be doing a physical version again next year. But anyway, let's go through what we've got. So our pay cycle is January 2nd through January 15th. And we have, our budgeted earned income is, $3,700. That's how much I am expecting. One thing to tell you about what I do, how I do my budget. I very grossly under budget, our income. And then I over budget on my expenses so that I have more of a buffer in my real life numbers. And you'll see that when we go through the actuals at the end of this pay period. So I'm budgeting $3,700 for our earned income. I don't believe there should be any other income coming in. We're going to use $455 of savings. So that is, you'll see what we'll use that for. And then we had a cash envelope rollover of $443. And then in our income account, there's roughly $1,800. So we have a monthly inflow available to us of $6,398. So for our bills, we've got a lot in this pay period, which is kind of a bummer, but it's just how the dates have fallen, and that's okay. So we have our mortgage for $1,950. Piedmont is our gas bill for $65. I actually think that's going to be right. That's right. Focus Internet for $100. Our Peacock subscription for $10. Compassion Internationals for $65. Our water for $200. T-Mobile for $200. Our debt consolidation loan for $945. Netflix for $30. Car insurance for $125. And then our quarterly HOA dues are due this month and will come out during this pay cycle, and that's $250. And we're using $130 of our annual fees money to pay for our Costco membership. So for our bills, that comes down, our total is $4,070 for the bills this month, or for this pay cycle, which means we have $2,328 left over to play with. So we come over here for our variable spending. When I did this, I had $125 when I wrote this down. I had $125 rolled over for groceries. However, we used some of that money for some goodies on New Year's Eve. So I don't know exactly. Let's look. So even our cash envelope, so all of our numbers are off just a little bit when we do our cash stuffing. There's $65 in there now, but that's okay. So anyway, what we do need to know is that groceries is getting $600. School has $138 in there and is getting an additional $30, so we'll have $168. Scouts has a rollover of $105. We're putting in $20, so we'll be at $125. Haircuts has a rollover of $50. We're putting in $20, so we'll have $70 in there. We budget $200 for gas. We're budgeting nothing for health. Sadie is getting, she has a rollover of 11 and she's getting 10. So there'll be $21 in her envelope. Sadie is our Chihuahua. Takeout is nothing. Rollover in our fun envelope, there's cash, $14 cash. And so we're putting that cash back into the envelope. So the cash total is $880, which means we have a leftover of $1,448. And our revolving sinking funds are basically just what's ever in my blue binder. HOA is getting 40, pest control is getting 40, car care, clothing, and Charlotte Football Club are getting 5 each. Kids sports, this is money that is not going into an envelope. However, the money was already in the envelope. It's not getting any more, but we're using it. So the money it's part of the savings used. And then we're using the 75 right here because Josh wants to play baseball this coming season. So that's going to pay for the baseball registration. And then yard work, birthdays, and from debt to dreams are getting nothing. And so our cash total for this is $170, which means we have $1,278 left to play with. Over here in our long term, we have, I get $1. Jason gets $21, even though only one of those dollars is going to go into his savings envelope. 20 of those dollars he gets to spend freely. Nothing, doesn't have to tell me any accounting for it or anything. Annual fees, extra utilities, and emergency fund are all getting $5. So that leaves $37 here, which means we have $1,241 to play with. $50 is going straight into our high yield savings account for Christmas. Mini Mondays and Play and Pay. I need to change that because it's not on Mondays anymore. But Minis is getting 100, for this pay cycle. And Play and Pay is getting $250 for this play cycle. So that's $400 that we're saving, which means we have $841 left over in our income account for us to roll over into the next pay cycle. Okay, so there is that. It's a lot of talking. So let's do our cash stuffing. So before we get into the cash stuffing, we have some change and some dollar bills that need to go into some envelopes. This is like from a couple weeks of spending. So we got a bunch of change, like so much change. Whoops. And I'm going to put it in here, and then this is full. So I'm going to take this with the bank with me today and turn it in this change so that when I come back for my cash stuffing, you'll see how much money that is. So in this rollover money, like change that we got when we did our grocery spending, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and $16. So every letter book or every letter has a place to go. So I need to sort these out. It goes to emergency fund. Okay, so it looks like almost every single category gets a little something, so that is great. So we'll start over here with B's, and the B goes to me. I get Brandy, and I color in half of these shoes, and I now have 20, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, and $50. That's just me doing $1 at a time. I don't add anything extra in there. While we're here, Jason also is getting $1. He's gonna get $1 later when we do cash stuffing too, but that's all right. All right, so he has, I wrote on my envelope, bummer. 20, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, and 45. All right, then we'll come back to here for emergency fund. emergency fund is getting $3. Whoop, whoop. So I should have $24 in cash. If I could get it all out. 21, 2, 3, and 4. Great. What else is there? Family fun, okay. And then the other two. There we go. I feel like we get the F city must be near us because we get a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we did go bowling. I used money from this envelope. So we did have $264, but then we used $50 for bowling. So now we should have $219. So I have $200 in the bank. And we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. All right. That's good. And then the other two are for my boys. We'll do Colin first. So Colin gets C and D bucks. I like to put them in alphabetical order for some reason. So the C's go in the front and the D's go in the back. And he gets 2. So these trackers, those are 50 circles on there. So he now has $48 in here. And Joshua, L. All 4 of these are L bucks. So they're going to go in the back. Those are terrible dollars. And 1, 2, 3, 4. So he only needs $6 more than he's got his first 50. And these are just from, this is just $1 at a time doing letterbucks. This is the way that I'm saving for my kids right now. They're just going to get, they're gotten a little, I'm going to put some money into my high yield savings account for them. Their grandparents gave them some money for Christmas, so that's going to go in the high yield savings account for them. And then eventually I would like to start maybe an education account for them, where they called 539s, 529, something like that. But right now we're just doing the best that we can do, which is $1 at a time. Yeah, and then for this change, this is probably likely about $50. That's what usually this mason jar holds. And what I have been doing with that money is, let me move all my stuff. I've been putting it in this box right here. And this box has been us slowly saving up for us to get a fence. However, our dog needs surgery and needs it quite soon. So I'm going to be pulling this up. We have about $200 in here, maybe a little bit more, plus whatever is going to be in our mason jar. I'm going to pull that money out and we're going to put that towards Sadie's surgery, and then just start over again on saving for the fence. So, all right, I'll be right back. You'll have to trust that I have the $100 in the Mini Mondays folder and the $250 in the Play and Pay folder. I don't do that on camera yet. I'm going to show you in my next budgeting video how I plan for the cash that I'm getting, and a lot of that has to do with like condensing and all the things. It's kind of it's not complicated, it's just what works for me, so that I'm not pulling out 100 ones every 2 weeks. So anyway, here we go. We have so this is what we're just putting in our regular envelopes. So we have 200, 300, 400, 20, 40, 60, 80, 500, 20, 40, 60, 80, 600, 20, 40, 60, 80, 700, 20, 40, so 740, 750, 60, 70, 775, 780, 785, 790, 795, 800, 805, 810, 811, and 812. Those cute little ones. Okay, so first we're going to start with groceries. Oh, my dashboards are coming out. And groceries gets $600, so that's $300 per week. And we do a $100 bill for each week, 2 50s for each week, and 5 20s for each week. So 20, 40, 60, 81, 20, 40, 60, 82. Okay. So there is for 1 week, and here is for another week, and we put a paper clip on there so that I know that it's for the week and we don't spend it. And then we have rollover. We have $65 rollover, which we're really gonna need this week because my boys go back to school on Tuesday, and stuff is falling off my desk. That was what that noise was. The boys go back to school on Tuesday, and we're gonna need to buy things to make their school lunches. So there's that. School, speaking of, is going to get 30. So we should now have 168, 20, 40, 60, 81, 20, 30, nope, yeah, 20, 30, 40, 50, 55, 60, 65, 67, and 68, which is good. My son's teacher does hot lunch, and then spring pictures will be coming up soon, so I'm going to need that money to pay for the pictures. All right, Scouts is getting 20. So we have 20, 40, 60, 81, 10, 25. 125 in Scouts. Collins, I believe Collins BSA dues are due this month, so we'll have to pull from that for that. All right, haircuts. We have to move over to this side. Is getting 20, and we now have 20, 40, 60, 65, and 70. Both boys are about due for a haircut, which I feel like we just got one. Their hair grows so fast. Our dog Sadie is getting $10, so she has $21. This does not include her dog food. Her dog food is something that we account for in our grocery budget. That is strictly for her vet expenses. All right, so in here, in my green binder, Brandy gets $1. And I've already colored in $1 earlier in this video, but we're gonna do another one, and my markers fell. So we're gonna do this highlighter because I don't wanna pick up my colored pencils. So I believe I'm at 51 now. 20, 40, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, and 51. So that's so cool considering that's just $1 at a time, just like I said a little earlier. All right, Jason is getting $1 as well, but he's also getting his spending money of $20, and he has requested to get a 10 and 2 5s. So I'm going to put that off to the side for him. So even though we just counted this a little earlier, let's do it again. 20, 30, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, and 46. He knows that I'm saving this money for him, but I don't tell him how much he has on there because he's a spender. And he will be like, oh, I have this much money and I'm going to spend it. And I don't want him to. I mean, technically he is a grown adult and I could tell him to, but, or I mean, he could spend it however he wanted. I'm not going to like force him not to, but it's in his best interest because he always says, oh, I want these things, these expensive things, but then like spends his money and doesn't save his money. So that's why I'm saving money for him so that he can get his expensive things that he wants. All right. Annual fees now has 20, 40, 60, 65, 70, 71, and 72. And it was, a a little more than that, but I took the $130 out of here for the Costco membership. We're going to Costco later today, and so I put that money into the wallet so that I can pay for our Costco membership. All right, extra utilities is getting 5. 20, 40, 50, 60, 65, 70, 75, which I'm sure we'll have to use this when the December bills come through, since we, you know, use more lighting in December. Okay, emergency fund, I need to update that. The emergency fund gets $5. So we should now be at 29 in cash. So we have 25, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And I need to update my in the bank. And none of these get anything. Okay, that's it for this binder. And then our last binder right here, we're gonna do HOA gets 20 or 40. I think I made that mistake last time where I was like $20. I also took our January dues out already and put it in the bank. So this now has $80, 20, 40, 60, and 80. All right, pest control is getting 40. So we now have 350, 1, 20, 40, 60, 82, 20, 40, 60, 83, 20, 30, 40, 50. So 350. All right. Car care, clothing, and Charlotte Football Club are what's left. All right, car care should now have 36, 10, 20, 25, 30, 35, and 36. Clothing is getting 5. So we should now have 25, 10, 15, 20, 25. And Charlotte Football Club is getting 5. And we should have 27. 10, 15, 20, 25, 26, and 27. And that is it. I am out of money. Yep, all those, none of those get stuffed. Using a regular paycheck. And that's it. All right, my friends, I hope that you have a lovely, 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 lovely day. And I'll see you Wednesday on my new minis video that happens on Wednesdays, no longer on Mondays. But you have to help me come up with a funny or a good way to name it. You know, am I Winning Wednesday? Or I was going to call it Weenie Wednesday, but like, I'm not going to call it that. Or maybe we just call it our Wednesdays of minis. I don't know. Anyway, I hope you have a lovely day. I'll see you in my video on Wednesday. Bye. Is tell you how much was in my coin jar. So when I went to the bank, I turned in all my coins. These two were not able to be used. I guess they're just really bad. So I'm gonna put those aside. I don't know what I'm gonna do with them. They wouldn't even take them. Like even the bank ladies wouldn't take them. I'm like, just take them and put them in. Isn't there a place where you put bad coins? I don't know. But I did get, is there supposed to be another penny in there? Yes. I did get 25, 35, $37 or 37 coins left. And these 2 pennies, I feel like I need to keep them. Are pennies going to be a thing anymore? I mean, we stopped making them. So I'm going to put those 35 cents in there. I don't know what I'm going to do with those pennies. I feel like I need to keep them. And we had $55 in that little jar, which I assumed. So we're going to put it in this box. And very shortly we will be emptying out this box to help pay for Sadie's surgery, but that has not been scheduled yet. So once that is scheduled, then I'll start consolidating money and all that kind of stuff. So all right, now for real, now I'm done. Hope you have a great day. See you Wednesday.